996-5555, Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Day 14 for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and, well, nothing has changed. Still waiting. Who will the next head coach be? Ben Johnson? That is not going to be the case here in Duval. And I got to say, 2 weeks ago at this time, so many of you Jaguar fans were stung, right? You couldn't believe it. I mean, Doug Peterson fired, okay. Trent Baalke sticking around, it was like, what is going on here? Well, this is 2 weeks later, same Monday, and there's much more mystery surrounding this franchise when it comes directly to Ben Johnson. Why would he take a gig in Chicago? Did he do it because of the general manager? That's what most will say, but Ryan Poles stayed on as the GM in Chicago, and there were reports that he wanted to bring his own guy in. The Raiders this week, including today, interviewing Lance Newmark, Lance Newmark, who is the assistant general manager of the Commanders, spent the previous 26 years in Detroit, so very familiar with Ben Johnson. And, a lot of people are kind of like, would he really go to Las Vegas? You got Aiden O'Connell, you got Gardner Minshew, are you going to draft a quarterback? What in the heck is Las Vegas really going to do when it's all said and done? And, of course, a very difficult division. And you got great quarterback play with Mahomes and Herbert, and we saw Bo Nix make it to the playoffs as a rookie. Same deal here now in arguably the most difficult division in all of pro football. All right? You have Green Bay. Obviously, you have Detroit after they went down yesterday. And, Minnesota, a very promising year. So he knows the division well. That's a good thing. The division also knows him well. That is not so much of a good thing. Very surprised that even though we heard the rumors of the Chicago Bears, that it actually did come down today. Ben Johnson, and, I'll credit Josina Anderson. She had it this morning. Following this, as always, that's what you do when you're waiting on a new coach, and there was a lot of stuff that was thrown out there. Anderson saying it's looking closer and closer as if it's really going to happen here between the Bears and Ben Johnson. Diana Rossini, who's she's dipping her toe into the world of being an NFL insider or an NFL information woman, did say as well that the setup wasn't there. It wasn't in line for the Jacksonville Jaguars, which obviously, once again, points directly to Trent Baalke, and that he is the reason why Ben Johnson did say no to Jacksonville. As far as I am concerned, it's not even close. If you look at the three teams that are there, Jacksonville is in such a better position. Look at the Washington Commanders. A year ago at this time, they were in the process of hiring a brand new coach, a brand new offensive coordinator, a brand new defensive coordinator, a brand new special teams coordinator, and they went out and drafted Jaden Daniels. They completely changed everything, and in a year, they have made it to the NFC Championship game. That is how quickly things should be able to change in pro football. Right now, the AFC South, Houston is the darling. Everything else is really laughable. You can't trust what's going on right now in Nashville. You can't trust what's going on right now in Indianapolis. And you absolutely cannot trust what is going on right now in Duval. But the ability to fix it should not be impossible. As a matter of fact, with the right hire here and the right decision there, this football team could be right back at it coming up once the season gets underway in September of 2025. So let's dive into that the next couple of hours. And, I know the automatic thought, and it's understandable, is let's blame Trent Baalke, okay? That is he's falling on the sword, although I also think he's laughing last because he is still employed. I would like to believe that is the reason. I'd like to sit here and say this is another example of just a really poor organization that remains stubborn and allowed this to take place. Because as far as I'm concerned, you cannot compare Jacksonville to Chicago right now for multiple reasons. And the number one is that I just gave you. Okay, the Bears are in such a good division. There is phenomenal pressure to win in Chicago. The Bears are far and away number one. The biggest really lesson that I learned my 7 years in Chicago is I was there post Michael Jordan, but I always assumed it was Jordan's town. I know they love the Cubs, and obviously they love the Chicago Bears, but when I was told that, I was wrong. It's a Mike Ditka town. It's far and away a Chicago Bears town. It's pretty tough to believe the Chicago Bears only won one Super Bowl with the talent they had in the mid-1980s. I mean, there was some very good defensive teams then. Of course, the New York Giants come to mind as well with Lawrence Taylor. But it's a huge football town. And it's one of the oldest franchises in the NFL. I want to say they've been around for 93 years. And the pressure is going to be immense to win there. The pressure here is anything but. I mean, it's a rabid fan base. There's members of the media who get after it, but come on. You can't compare this to Chicago. You can't compare this to some other spots around the NFL. The pressure is just not there. And you're also dealing with the fact, which would be a positive if you are a coach, that you're playing for an owner where it appears it really doesn't matter if you win. As long as you're competitive, right? As long as, you show up and do your work. I don't think anyone, whether you are his biggest ally or you are someone that completely disagrees with everything that he does, no one is going to sit here and pound the table and say, oh, yeah, Shad Khan. There's a guy right there. The most important thing in his life is for the Jacksonville Jaguars to win. No one has ever said that, nor will they ever say that. It just doesn't fit when you look at him and this football team. That is unfortunately the case. We're going to go out to Tampa here in about 15 minutes. I'm going to bring an old friend of mine, J.P. Peterson. Again, I went on his show like 2 weeks ago, and I talked about it. How, remember, I went in there and they came after me. They're like, keep your bloody hands off of Liam Cohen. Don't come here and grab him. And at the time, I was like, okay, but I believe the guy that this city wants more than any is Ben Johnson. And Peterson and folks in his show were absolutely bragging about Liam Cohen. And they really think he is the second coming, to the point where they said 2 weeks ago, do not be surprised if Todd Bowles is fired, because that is how highly they do think of Liam Cohen to make that move there in Tampa Bay. Well, there are reports out now that Cohen will interview Wednesday, okay? I've seen a couple of different reports. Jeremy Fowler has Robert Saleh on Friday. I've seen a report that has Liam Cohen on Wednesday. I also have a report that came out moments ago from Adam Schefter that says that those two will interview this week. Also, Patrick Graham, the defensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders, is going to be asked back for a second interview. So as far as we know at this exact moment, there were 10 interviews that did take place originally. 9 were virtual, right? And Robert Saleh was able to come into Duval and do his interview, face-to-face. That changes beginning today on the 20th of January. Now interviews can take place in person as long as the team that you are with has been eliminated from the playoffs. I mean, just think about how this thing is really sped up in Detroit. If Detroit won over the weekend and Detroit went to conference championship Sunday and won again, then you're talking about 2 more weeks until the Super Bowl. There was always that fear that Jacksonville's going to be last because they're going to Detroit, and that this thing could go until February 10th? I think the game is February 9th. You could hire that very next day. Well, now it appears everything is long gone, right? Unless Kellen Moore is really the guy. Unless Joe Brady is really the guy. It feels like the Jaguars could announce who their next head coach is this week, depending on when they line up these interviews. And again, Saleh on Friday, apparently Liam Cohen on Wednesday, and we'll also get something, I would imagine, extremely soon on when Patrick Graham is expected to interview as well for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So a lot to choose, really, and a lot to a lot to break down here. Here's the only thing. Let me get one more point out there. Grandstanding is not the word that I like, but I've always been a little bit offended when people act like they knew what was always going on the entire time. Tom Pelissero, who I happen to like from NFL Media, took it today to the Chicago always was the most likely landing spot. And I was like, come on. Say it if that was the case. Come out and say it before, not after. Josina Anderson this morning, she did say it. And I gave her credit about 5 or 6 minutes ago, but it's so easy to pile on after, right? And I read Pelissero all the time. I don't know why he came out with that. I never believed Chicago. I thought it was here, or I really thought Las Vegas had a great chance. I thought Tom Brady and Vegas, they would sell it on bringing in his front office guy and Lance Newmark, and that maybe Vegas would get it because of that. I never envisioned him going to Chicago where the current general manager, Ryan Poles, remains. I just didn't see it that way. But that is obviously how it did end up with this coming in just a couple of hours ago. But we'll do it. We'll go out to Tampa, and we'll bring in our friend J.P. Peterson and give you the very latest and allow him to tell us what makes this Liam Cohen so special. Tampa Bay was top 5 this year in rushing. Tampa Bay was top 5 this year in passing. The only team in the NFL that was able to do that. But Liam Cohen is really new with this gig when it comes to calling plays at a professional level. If there's one thing that you can take with you, as a positive, it's this. We don't know if Ben Johnson can coach. We don't know. The belief is sure, he can. And he was the most popular guy, the most wanted guy in this cycle. We don't know. We don't. What about a guy like Cliff Kingsbury, who's been fired at Texas Tech and fired in Arizona? Look at the job he's doing right now with the Commanders. Is a guy like that with experience the better move? Is Robert Saleh? Again, his record is what? I had it last week. It was like 12. I think it's 26 and maybe 22 and 36. I want to say offhand is his record, or 20 and 36. It's deplorable, right? But he didn't have a QB. He didn't have one. It's a second-time opportunity for a guy like Robert Saleh. Better than going after a Ben Johnson or an Aaron Glenn or a Liam Cohen, a guy who has never done it before. If we knew the answer to that, you and I would be running this organization, but it's very difficult. But that's the only thing that I would take with you as, okay, maybe it's not as bad as I believe it is. You just don't know if these coordinators can coach once they are giving full reins of an organization. And, in the case of Robert Saleh, he didn't have a quarterback. Look at across the way with Brian Daboll. That's the greatest example of all. 2 years ago, he came with the general manager, the assistant GM from Buffalo, and went to New York. Same deal with Saleh with Daboll. Doesn't have a quarterback. hasn't been able to play in the NFL or coach in the NFL without a quarterback. And the end result, he was absolutely on the hot seat. Now, he survived, but if he doesn't win this year, in year 3, he will certainly be out of a job by January of 2026. All right, opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. And Dr. John Hunt, want to welcome him into the family. He's an ophthalmologist, and his expertise is varied. He does a lot of great things: cosmetic eyelid surgery, cataract surgery. Yeah, there's a pretty big difference there, but he's got it all in his arsenal. Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. Neil Shmunez, combined, you're talking about well more than 30 years worth of experience whenever it comes to surgery. How does laser eye surgery sound? 2020 for the rest of your life. Pretty cool. Again, if it's far more significant and you're concerned because you may believe that you have an issue with your, cataract-wise or something else, just set up an appointment today. Go to Shmunez Vision. You can check them out online. You can also get them on Instagram at Shmunez Vision. So we kick off the week with them, and it's definitely going to be a very interesting one around here. No question about it. All right, the best way for you to join us is the text line that is 641-1010, and it's brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Fill it up right now with your thoughts on what has gone down on this Monday, and let's get the latest. Let's go to Tampa. Let's get a firsthand view on what Liam Cohen does well as an offensive coordinator and that whole rumor about whether or not Todd Bowles could be sent packing for Liam Cohen. We'll do that on the other side with J.P. Peterson. Great to have you with us alongside Dylan Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Jacksonville, a community determined to win an NFL franchise. A special addition to the National Football League.
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Pick it here for Bound 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bound 9. Visit Bound 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bound 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Joe C. for Blossman Gas. They've been providing hometown service and the comforts of propane to home and businesses since 1951. Imagine movie night spent around glowing gas fireplace logs, cookouts in the backyard with your propane grill, or laundry done faster with your gas dryer. Blossman has a wide variety of gas appliances to fit your needs. Propane delivery, gas appliances, and a full-service team. Blossman Gas is your local company for everything propane. Blossman Gas, log on, blossmangas.com, and check out the Blossman difference.
Hey, poker fans! The Best Bet Winter Open Series returns to Best Bet Jacksonville from January 23rd to February 2nd. Satellites into the $1,500 main event kick off January 4th. Take your shot at big payouts with 8 action-packed events and $500,000 in guarantees. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more details. That's bestbetjacks.com. And we'll see you at the Winter Open starting January 23rd.
Mia here. When it comes to roofing, whether it be shingles, metal, or most repairs, there is one name that has protected your home since 1999. Pro Jax Roofing. Serving all of Northeast Florida, Mike and his guys have been repairing and replacing roofs for 25 years. Need insurance help? Mike's team can help. Raised in a military family, Mike provides great attention to detail with unparalleled quality and workmanship. They also have warranties, so you can have peace of mind. Call Mike today for a free estimate or online at projaxroofingfl.com.
We don't have too many cold nights on the First Coast, but when the temperature drops, you want to hit the heat button and warm up. That's where Florida Home comes in. They're the AC experts in Jacksonville, and the importance of keeping your heating system in good working order is really important. If it stops working when it gets cooler, Florida Home will leap into action and provide you with the best solution. Heater and heat pump repair service and new system installation. They do it all. Just call Florida Home AC at 777-4300, the official heating and AC partner of the Jaguars.
Frank Frangie here. Join us for the Frangie Show Friday from 4 to 6 at Barley and Pie Brewing Company in Fleming Island. We'll preview the AFC-NFC Championship game, and you can win a pair of Gator basketball tickets. Friday, 4 to 6 at Barley and Pie in Fleming Island.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite Roofing Contractor, lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjax.com.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
Hey gang, Prosser here. If you think you have problems related to the need to sell your home, we have solutions. And by we, I don't mean me. I mean ChadandSandy.com. That's Chad, A-N-D, Sandy.com. Call them today at 904-414-6200. Look, the problems could fall into a variety of areas. Maybe you want guaranteed no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Maybe you need more space with a growing family. Doesn't matter what the problems are. You go to Chad and Sandy, those problems are fixed. With all the recent talk about interest rates and economic uncertainty, you may be wondering if now is the right time to sell your home. Will you get the price you need? What about repairs or showings? The good news, you don't have to figure it out by yourself. You call my agents, Chad and Sandy Newman. They will deliver. Your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts. The success stories are rolling in from all over town. Find out for yourself. Call Chad and Sandy today. That's Chad, A-N-D, Sandy.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, show brought to you by Miller Electric. Go to millercareers.com. Get everything that they have, that they are offering. They're looking for new individuals. Why? They're building everywhere. It's amazing what they've done. 96 years worth of work. Miller Electric and the Miller Electric Company. Go to millercareers.com. I'll give you more on them coming up in just a little bit. But first things first, let's try to nail down the Jaguars' next head coach. Let's bring in J.P. Peterson. Oh, my goodness. This goes back to our salad days in God's country. And J.P. Peterson now has been in Tampa for a very, very long period of time, and he joins Rick Ballou. Hello, J.P.
27 years, my friend, covering Tampa Bay sports, baby. It's been a beautiful ride.
It certainly has. Now, I came on with you a couple of weeks ago to talk about the Jaguars and Liam Cohen, and I was really shocked as to what you had to say about Cohen and how highly they think of him, perhaps even to the expense of Todd Bowles. Give us the very latest. What's going on there in the Bay?
Well, it's been kind of quiet since the end of the season. Todd Bowles did his final press conference, and typically they'll meet with the Glazers on the Tuesday or Wednesday afterwards, and there'll be some type of announcement as to things moving forward, and really hasn't been much of that. It's been kind of quiet over One Buck Place. That's not terribly unusual. Jason Light came out and said a couple of nice things about Todd Bowles, but still, I think there's a feeling that this Liam Cohen situation is going to dictate what happens in Tampa Bay. I've been covering this team and the Glazers for a long, long time. They've made moves before. Tony Dungy, famously, who had won, it had gone to playoffs 4 of 6 years, 2 years in a row, and lost in Philadelphia 2 years in a row, was fired with a much better record than Todd Bowles. So there are some that cover the team that believe Bowles is safe. There are some of us that believe if Cohen is offered a job somewhere, that the Bucs might make some type of move with Liam Cohen, move Bowles upstairs. But it's anybody's guess. It's my feeling. It's my feeling, and a couple other of the beat writers, that if Cohen is offered a job, that the Bucs will do whatever they can to keep him. So that remains to be seen. I just read something where the Jags are bringing back 3 people now for second interviews, and the word is Cohen interviewed very well, which doesn't surprise me. I've done a little research on Cohen in terms of him as a head coach, talked to people that are in these meeting rooms, talked to players, and I asked him straight up, what do you think of Liam Cohen as a coach? He's 39 years old. He's a little young. Does he command the room? Does this give you, head coach feels? And to a man, everybody said yes. Everybody said yes. So I think he's a great candidate. He's a little raw. There's no question about that, but he's the one that checks all the boxes that these owners are looking for. He's a McVay disciple. He's a young, up-and-coming offensive guy that is obviously a great play caller. His one-year resume, to me, is untouched as far as OCs that I've seen in Tampa Bay. Take the 30-second rushing attack and turn it into the number 2 in the league. That's unprecedented. It has not been done in the Super Bowl era. The only team to be in the top 5 in passing and rushing. He values the run, values the pass, values balanced offense. He's a great play caller. Had a couple maybe bobbles in the playoff game that weren't the best, but just on balance, the year he's had has been spectacular. So I think he's going to get some sniffs other places. It's not been announced yet, but I think the Raiders, now that Ben Johnson has gone to the Bears, he was on their list as well. And I know Brady loves Liam Cohen. Spent about a half hour with him when he was in town here a couple of weeks ago. And they're looking at John Spytek, who's with the Bucs as their general manager, as a second interview, so you can connect the dots there. So I think it's going to be interesting this next week as to what happens. But do I think it's in play that the Bucs would make a move to keep Liam Cohen? I do.
Tell us a little bit more about what type of guy Liam Cohen is. His personality. Do you see him as the ultimate player's coach? Does he have a little bit of fire in his belly? Yeah. Which is rare these days to get on players and situations if they're not pulling their own.
I'll say this, out of training camp when I was out there, obviously he was a new guy, so I wanted to kind of get a feel for how he coaches, what he's like. So I would kind of hang out as close as I could to where he was coaching just to listen to him coach. And he's got juice, man. He's got a lot of juice. He runs from one place to the next. He's a big energy guy. The players love him. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm in the meeting room when he's calling them out and holding them accountable. I'm not there. I don't know that. But when I talk to people and that say, has he got that head coach feel, that tells me, yeah, he'll hold people accountable. Because players will see right through that. If you're just kissing everybody's ass, they see right through that. That's not an effective way to coach. And this was a very excellent offense. They executed well. So I think accountability was at a high level on the offensive side. So he kind of, if I had a comp, it would kind of be Sean McVay. He gives me Sean McVay vibes. He's, he may not be able to recall every play that he's ever called, but he's a super smart guy. All of his press conferences, he's on top of everything. He gives you that feel of confidence that he knows, and he's playing checkers or playing chess when other people are playing checkers. He gives you that vibe.
J.P. Peterson is our guest. Ben Johnson has been hired by the Chicago Bears. Reports now say the Jaguars will bring in 3 coaches this week for second interviews. Robert Saleh, Patrick Graham, and we're talking about Liam Cohen. J.P. does cover the Buccaneers. Of course, Cohen is the offensive coordinator in Tampa. Boy, it's an offense that it just appears as though they can do everything. You told us top 5 passing, top 5 rushing. They were 3rd in screens, 1st in screen yards and touchdowns, 5th in motion. So this is anything but just a bland, or in some cases, the way it's been around here for the last 3 years, a very predictable Jaguars offense.
No, it's extremely unpredictable. And we had Dave Canales last year, who got a head coaching job after 1 year calling plays in Tampa and in Carolina. But Canales was extremely predictable. And Liam Cohen runs so many different sets and runs a lot of the same plays out of different sets, so you never really know what's coming. All I can say is he schemed guys open a lot. And again, the results speak for themselves. You can't fake this stuff in the NFL, right? I think also the fact that he would commit to the run at times, I like that. I personally like that. And it took him a while to really get the feel for Bucky Irving, but, you don't really think you're going to have that, a rookie's going to make that big of an impact early on. But he by week 3 or 4, he realized he had something special in Bucky Irving and started using him a lot more. And by the end of the year, it was a incredible rookie season for Bucky Irving. So I love the way he uses personnel. And one of the things that impressed me most, Rick, is when Godwin and Evans went out in the same game, they played 3 games without Godwin and Evans until Evans came back, and they still were averaging about 27 points a game. To me, that's a tremendous endorsement for an offensive coordinator. The top 2 weapons are taken away, and they're still able to put up points and move the football.
Yeah, that's a great point, no doubt about it. Hey, let's wrap with this. You alluded to it earlier, but he went back and forth between developing Will Levis at Kentucky and obviously learning under Sean McVay, but not a lot of experience when it comes to an in-game play caller. I have said all along, whether it was Cohen or Ben Johnson, what I want for this city is for an offensive coach to come in who is a head coach who also calls plays. And I don't know if that is going to be the case. My assumption is it would. Just overall, again, with not a lot of body of work, not a lot of experience at this level, Liam Cohen as a play caller.
I love him. I've watched him sequence things, and you can watch games and see play callers that are sequencing and also sequencing through a season. The really good play callers will set up stuff and hold stuff for later in the season and develop as the season goes along. There was a thing you talked about the screens; they were screen heavy for a while in the first half, and then then he went to some other stuff because people were starting to zero in on the screen game. He anticipated that and went to some other stuff, went away from the screen game, and then kind of came back to it a few games later. So it's not just I've seen him sequence during a game, but also set up stuff games away and refresh and be new every week because you got to know, right? Everybody's watching your stuff. They're going on what you've already done. So what else can you do? What can you fake out of that look and go do something else? And I won't get too deep in the weeds, but there's a play that he ran to Jalen McMillan that he scored off twice, and it was all set up by something he had done a couple games earlier. So when you start seeing things like that, you're like, okay, this guy gets it. And again, to me, Sean McVay is the best in the business, and Andy Reid right there as well as play calling. And this is he's been this McVay disciple. McVay has great endorsement for him. So again, it is a small body of work, and nothing is guaranteed in this league. But I think this guy's going to be a head coach sooner or later.
Yeah.
So it's either going to be with the Bucs, the Jags, or the Raiders in this next year. That's my feeling. I think he's going to get a gig somewhere.
Well, after what he did for Baker Mayfield, man, it feels like they can't allow him to go. So, I mean.
No, and that's my thing. I mean, Todd Bowles is a great dude. We love him. We respect him tremendously. But this defense dramatically regressed the last 2 years. And this year was, 29th in pass defense. And he's a terrible game manager. He's a terrible game manager. His use of timeouts are just egregiously bad. So it gets to this point where, the Glazers are smart guys. And you've got a connection now between your somewhat young quarterback and Baker Mayfield. These two, he and Liam Cohen, have a great relationship, as all the offensive players. Why would you let that go just to keep Todd Bowles? To me, that makes no sense. What's going to be a 62-year-old coach who is not the best game manager and is 28-27 in 3 years with the Bucs. Yes, they've won 3 division titles in the worst division in the history of the league, but they've also lost 3 home games in the playoffs as well. So I think if I'm the Glazers, I don't let him out of the building, but we'll see.
29th in pass defense. What's it like to cover a good D there? This team was 32nd here in Jacksonville.
Oh, that's bad stuff, bro. You watch the Commanders in that playoff game. they only scored 23 points, right? And they're like, oh, okay, not bad. They never punted. They never
I know,
punted.
yeah.
They did whatever they wanted. They were. I'm telling you, Queensberry was running the ball just to bleed the clock because he knew on third or fourth down they could get whatever they wanted whenever they wanted. It was a brilliant game plan. It kept the Bucs off the field. They only had 44 offensive plays in 7 possessions, and that's why the Commanders won. And that defense, even though they only gave up 23, was a joke. They just it's bad, and it's very passive, very passive. No pressure on Jaden Daniels at all. So I don't know. If I'm the Glazers, I'm not letting Liam Cohen, the future of this offense, get away and think I can just go find another guy like him. I don't think it's that easy.
J.P. Peterson, you can go to his show as well. Just go to X or Twitter and pull up the J.P. Peterson show. He's on 10 to noon each and every morning on FanStream Sports. Always a lot of fun,
great
J.P.
to talk to you, my friend. I love it. I'm just sitting here right next to in Clearwater on the beach. It's a frigid day, looking at the Gulf of America. It's one of the most beautiful bodies of water you'll ever see, baby. It's gorgeous.
Hey,
the Gulf of America. It looks different today. I don't know why, but it looks a little bluer. I don't know.
The only facial expressions that were more alarming than those today when we heard about the what you just said was 2 weeks ago Monday when it was announced that Trent Baalke would stay on as the general manager. All right, man. Have a good one. Enjoy that hockey game tonight as well. All right. There he goes. Thank you. Always a lot of fun. J.P. Peterson does a great job in Tampa. I've known him forever. He was doing TV when I was doing radio when I started in this business in Tallahassee. Daniel Griffiths, who I have on here and there, does a really good job crunching numbers. Liam Cohen's offense, these are his numbers. 3rd in screens, Jaguars 17th. Tampa, 1st in screen yards and TDs. 1st in yards per, I guess it's YPC, is that yards per catch from the shotgun. Bucs were 1st, Jaguars 21st. 5th in motion, EPA/play, Jaguars 29th. These numbers are insane, and I'm glad that JP reminded us that Godwin went out early, and obviously, they had 3 games without Evans and went with a rookie tailback who ended up with more than 1,200 yards. And again, it wasn't a great defense. Time of possession was something that hurt Tampa Bay this year, but we do appreciate him giving us a few moments of his time. All right, tonight's show brought to you by the good folks at Miller Electric Company. If you're an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, you got it right there at Miller Electric. They tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you a chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. They believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about one another. No matter where you go in the city, Jacksonville is growing. You see more and more building, and obviously it's going to happen downtown with the stadium and around the stadium. A new soccer stadium is coming. Miller Electric going to have their fingers involved in it all. They've been here for 96 years. If you're interested in working with the great folks at Miller Electric, just go to millercareers.com. That is millercareers.com. When we come back, let's grab reaction to what you just heard out of Tampa Bay from J.P. Peterson. Let's bring in our buddy Dylan Denmark, and let's get you involved with the show. 641-1010. That's the best way to do it. And it's always brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
The NBA is on 1010XL.
Orlando travels to Jurassic Park for an evening matchup with the Raptors. Tuesday night at 7 on 1010 a.m.
Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL. Brought to you by San Jose Collision.
The Gators got the train back on the tracks Saturday when they dominated Texas 84-60 in the team's first ever matchup as SEC opponents. Senior guard Elijah Martin led the scoring for the Gators with 22, while sophomore forward Alex Condon controlled the paint with 11 points and 12 rebounds. The Gators take on South Carolina next, 7 o'clock on Wednesday night.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
Hi, it's Ben, second generation from Beards Diamonds. Guys, if you're popping a question soon, looking for an anniversary gift, before you buy anywhere, shop Beards. From a half carat to 10 carats, Beards will beat any competitor's price.
In the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
When the heat's on high or the chill is too much, who you gonna call? Cool Cats Heating and Cooling is locally owned and operated with a perfect touch. You'll keep your home just right, day or night. AC to heating, don't take a beating. Call the coolest cats in town. With a 5-star Google rating, they're your neighbors, ready to help. So get your paw of approval from Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town. CoolCatsJax.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 20th, 1967, Philadelphia 76ers Wilt Chamberlain makes all 15 of his field goal attempts in a win over the Lakers to set the NBA record for consecutive shots made.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about the fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what Window wants you to do. Window knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to Window they can't offer you the quality at the price that Window can.
And with Window World, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, Window World and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with Window World, and to top it off, Window World windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with Window World. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call Window World today and get your free in-home estimate, or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Yo, E.T. here, and beat the winter blues with fun activities in Clay County. Some of my personal favorites are a hands-on aquaponics class at Reparation Earth, or diving into the action at Nakima Anime Bar, where you can join weekly gaming and cosplay tournaments. Clay County always has something going on. Plan your next date at exploreclay.com and share the fun at #ExploreClay.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, thank you to J.P. Peterson out of Tampa Bay, the very latest there. This is going to be very, very intriguing. I mean, could the Buccaneers really fire Todd Bowles? Not in danger at all. And I think there would be resistance with that fire if, in fact, it happened. I think you've got to be real careful about tampering and the Rooney Rule. I mean, if you fire a guy that's not expected to get fired, and it becomes a very late fire, and let's be honest, if you fire him now, it's because you don't want to lose Cohen. Does that have total disregard for what the Rooney Rule is all apart? Now, Tampa Bay would obviously still go out and interview, but I just see in NFL circles where there'd be a backlash here. I really believe that. And it's Tampa's own fault. If Tampa thought that this was going to actually be a situation, why didn't they make the move when 7 other NFL firings actually did happen? That's going to be a part of the story that I think will be controversial. And maybe that could end up being beneficial to Jacksonville if you are one of those who subscribes to the theory that Liam Cohen is absolutely the guy to be the next head coach. All right, Dylan, what do you make of this? Ben Johnson's gone. Reports say that Cohen, Robert Saleh, and Patrick Graham will all come in this week for a second interview.
Yeah, I feel like Jackson needs to act fast and get these interviews in and make a decision quick if you want to make a move on Liam Cohen or somebody else, because I'm reading also that Robert Saleh is interviewing for the 49ers defensive coordinator position. So it's like you're at a spot where I don't think Saleh. Do you think Saleh would take a defensive coordinator position over a head coaching job?
No.
Yeah, see, I don't think you would either.
No.
So it's Liam Cohen. You know, you have to ask yourself, is Tampa going to pull that card? You know, what Ben Johnson had last year, take the interview, we're going to turn the plane back around and you're going to stay here. Or, you're going to take the job in Jacksonville. It's a lot of things are up in the air. I still think Liam Cohen's leader in the clubhouse, but if he doesn't get the job, I feel it's going to be a major, major letdown. I mean, it's already been a major letdown with Ben Johnson not coming, but the fans are not going to be happy.
Another part of this is, what if other teams now get involved with Liam Cohen? I mean, what are the Raiders going to do? There's an organization right there where it kind of feels like that would be the direction that they would go. It feels like Aaron Glenn is either going to go to the Jets with Lance Newmark, who had been in Detroit for 26 years in the front office, is spending this year as the assistant general manager in Washington, D.C., or he's going to go to the Saints. I know that Brian Flores is a guy that the Jets really like. So right now it feels like Glenn or Flores ends up in New York. The Dallas situation, who knows what to make of that? I mean, everything from bringing back Bill Belichick to giving carte blanche to Deion Sanders to settling on Philadelphia offensive coordinator Kellen Moore all make sense. But, if Jacksonville, I think right now, this is a 2-team race. And the Patrick Graham interview surprises me a little bit, okay? It's a good thing. He must have really interviewed well to get a call back, because 7 others are not. Or let's make that 6 others, because Ben Johnson's going to Chicago. But it feels like it's Robert Saleh who's the given, right? He's there. He'll wait. Are you going to go after the former Jaguars linebacker coach and a guy who does have experience in this league as a head coach? or do you bring in the hotshot guy who was unproven, who's never done it before with Liam Cohen? So it feels like it's one of those two, but another candidate could emerge, and maybe it is Patrick Graham.
Would you entertain Mike McCarthy at all?
No, I think the better days have passed him. I would entertain Cliff Kingsbury. I would entertain Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah, I think McCarthy, I feel like he probably needs a year off after those years spent in Dallas. I can't imagine how he is mentally right now. I really liked Mike McCarthy when he was in Green Bay, and I remember having a conversation with quite a few NFL people about that, and they felt as though he wasn't as accomplished as a coach as he could have been, that his success was because he had one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the game. So, no, you feel the other way?
No, I feel like I don't think he would entertain coming to Jacksonville. I mean, if you coach at the Packers and the Cowboys, I think that Jackson would feel like a step down for him. But Mike McCarthy, I feel like if he were to come to Jacksonville, he would bring stability. Like, now you wouldn't be getting 11, 12 wins. Like, you wouldn't be maximizing Trevor, but I think you would get a consistent 8, 9, 10 wins every year.
Yeah. I think, to me, Mike McCarthy, Pete Carroll. I mean, Pete Carroll was rumored a little bit in Chicago. No, I think that this team needs a younger coach. And it may even cancel out a guy like Todd Monken. And I know we remember what happened yesterday. There were a lot of drop passes, man. You had those 2 drop balls by Mark Andrews. You had the 3 turnovers. You realize that all 4 teams who advanced to the championship game or games on Sunday, all 4 teams combined 0 turnovers. Turnovers are just immense. By the way, Jacksonville had 9 this year, and one of those was a special teams takeaway. That's something else that needs to be fixed. But no, I think they're going younger here, and I think it's down to 2 guys. I really believe that. Robert Saleh has a real good opportunity to get this job. And if the Buccaneers now fight for Liam Cohen, then that really changes things, because I'm just looking at your reaction. I'm going to get to it at 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. But all along, it's been Ben Johnson or Liam Cohen. Now with Johnson gone, if you took the fans' vote, it's nearly 100% for Liam Cohen. What we do know is this. Tony Khan, Shad Khan, and Trent Baalke are not plugged in whatsoever when it comes to Jaguar fans, and they're not plugged in at all when it comes to those who cover the Jacksonville Jaguars. They omit themselves completely from that. So you can say that's a good thing, or you can say that is a bad thing. We'll let you decide as we get ready for hour number 2. Let's do that. Also, we're about 48 minutes away. Actually, let's make that 58 minutes away from the national championship. Boy, kind of hate that this news broke on a Monday with the Natty coming up tonight. 89% of the sharp money's on Notre Dame. Okay? The public money is on Ohio State. The line has moved again. It was at 8. It's now a 2-possession football game. The Buckeyes are favored by 9 points tonight. This game is in Atlanta. The total is 45.5 points. So coming up in our second hour, we'll also spend a couple of minutes and talk about the Buckeyes and the Fighting Irish. Fighting Irish have not won a national championship since 1988. Tough to believe that. Ohio State, of course, won it about 10 years ago. So we'll spend some of our time on that. But obviously, the majority of it will be on the Jaguars. Your thoughts, the best way to get in, 641-1010. That is the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. It's new year, new truck time at Nimnik Buick GMC, home of the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. This month, save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500s or enjoy rates as low as 0% 0% zero APR financing. Yes, 0%. You can't find deals like this anywhere in Jacksonville. Shop 24/7 online at nimnickbuickgmc.com. Value your trade and customize your payment options in seconds. Nimnick Buick GMC. GMC, we are professional grade.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
New year, new beginnings, and a new roof. Start 2025 with peace of mind and take advantage of Universal Roof and Contracting's limited time offer. 15% off all roof repairs and replacements. From leaks to full replacements, call 855-ROOF-HELP or visit universalroof.com to schedule your free roof inspection today. This special New Year deal ends January 31st. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home and building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $2,600 per ounce. Pay bills. Buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
Jacksonville. When AEW returns home, it is the biggest party in all of professional wrestling.
Daily's Place, the home of AEW.
And on Saturday, January 25th, Collision returns live. It's a new year and a whole new era in AEW. And there's no better time to experience the excitement than right now. AEW Collision Homecoming, live from Daily's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. Tickets on sale now, starting at $20 at AEWTIX.com.
The big game is almost here, and Sonny's Barbecue wants you to win a barbecue feast. Text Sonny's to the text line brought to you by Lifetime Flooring at 641-1010 for your chance to win. 641-1010.
Don't go through another year with all that high-interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Hey, it's Prosser here, and Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as one day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and personal loans, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. You can. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 904-999-1508, or visit loanpronto.com. Get your free quote now with no hard credit pull at 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hi, Jags fans. Walker Little here for my friends at Kingfish Pest Control. Playing offensive line in the NFL, I must block and protect on every down. When it comes to keeping my home pest-free, I expect that same level of protection. So I contacted Kingfish after seeing thousands of positive online customer reviews about their service. I can confirm from personal experience, bugs don't stand a chance getting past Kingfish Pest Control. Do what I did. Reach out to Kingfish Pest Control to protect your home, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and when you head into a brand new year with a boat show coming up, you've got a lineup of Honda and Coach pontoon boats that you want people to know about.
We do. We've got them in stock. It might still be a little chilly, but it's never too soon to start thinking about your next boat. We are going to be at the boat show January 24 to 26. You can come see us there. If you can't make it to our showroom, come see us at the boat show.
All sorts of ideas and opportunities to enjoy fun on the water with Cycles of Jacksonville. You can log on and check them out, or head to the showroom and be at the boat show.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, 7 o'clock in Duval. Ben Johnson on his way to Chicago. Enjoy those winters. And again, you were living in Detroit. So it's not as though it's going to change all that much. The thinking is he did not come here because of Trent Baalke. I don't know if that is the reason. I think there's some guesswork involved. What if Ben Johnson thinks he's got a better opportunity to win with Caleb Williams? 1 year in, 22-year-old kid. Trevor Lawrence, 4 years in, very underwhelming. Has missed 8 games because of injuries. 7 different injuries. 2 concussions. 2 surgeries on his non-throwing shoulder. A dysfunctional organization that keeps peddling out new head coaches. This will be the 3rd head coach for Trevor Lawrence in 5 years. Okay, and if you add the interim head coach, a 4th in 5 years. Different play callers. Again, a different system that he is going to have to learn. And, just look at what's going on around us. Look at Jaden Daniels, a rookie. I mean, absolutely unrattled. Incredible. Who's the last rookie to do something along those lines? Dan Marino? Rookies struggle. We always make excuses for rookies. Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith. Look at the quarterbacks who are in it. There's no secret. They're the very best. Maybe some of you would argue with Jalen Hurts, and I would hear that argument. But Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are elite. Jaden Daniels as a rookie is heading towards that category. Jalen Hurts didn't turn the ball over. He didn't have a great year statistically speaking. He was hurt. Missed a few games. Let's see here. 18 touchdowns, 5 picks. Had a quarterback rating of 103.7. He doesn't get mentioned in the same breath, and I get it. Philadelphia, a well-rounded team, though. They do a lot of things the way that you want a team to do things, with a nasty offensive line, a fired-up defense. You got to have a great quarterback in order to get deep into the playoffs, to get the championship Sunday. Maybe Ben Johnson doesn't think that Trevor Lawrence has the it factor. I'm sure there's some out there who do. Again, the way a brand new car smells, that's gone now, right? You're talking about 4 years of Trevor Lawrence. The guy's 22 and he's 38. I happen to believe it's not Trevor's fault that there are so many moving parts around him that haven't worked. But what if someone stands up and says, if Jaden Daniels was here, this would happen. If Jalen Hurts was here, this would happen. If Josh Allen, the quarterback, was here, this would happen. If Patrick, you understand where I'm going with this? And I think the deeper we move forward, sooner or later, more of the attention is going to be on Trevor. And it's almost like the excuses, enough is enough is enough. The guy's got it or he doesn't got it. Does he have that will to win? Is he going to do absolutely everything to try to win? I still think it works with Trevor Lawrence. Again, my confidence has waned a little bit in the last couple of years for several reasons. But I think that's part of this. I think you have to take that into consideration with Ben Johnson. What if he honestly believes, even in a far more difficult division, he's got a better future there with Caleb Williams than he does here with Trevor Lawrence? Because for every other reason, you take this job. I mean, the pressure here is non-existent compared to Chicago. I mean, this team went 9-8 in consecutive years, and, you know, it was like it was a daily party. You're one game above 500, and it was incredible. It was, and I love that you folks enjoyed that, but the expectations are so low for this team that a 9-8 season was completely joyful. So, you know, I don't know what else to say as far as that is concerned. Let's grab some stuff from you. Getting a lot of good stuff rolling in. 1333 Ballou, good evening. How much would you impact Ben's family in playing a role in the decision? It's a move he and his wife decided is good for their family based on Chicago being close to Detroit. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't even know what his status is as far as being a married man or kids or any of that with Ben Johnson. But, yeah, the family's always important.
I think he's got 3 kids.
Yeah. To me, since I lived in both places, it's a no-brainer. Where would I rather live, Jacksonville or Chicago? Well, I'm a quality of life guy, right? I'm going to take Duval any day. These guys spend 10, 12, 14 hours a day coaching. Maybe he just feels he's going to be inside Hallis's place all day. Doesn't matter, okay? He wants to go where he believes he's got a better opportunity to win. I don't know. 4472, Ballou. He had a good team in New York, much more talent than we had here in Jacksonville. Okay, he's talking about Robert Saleh. He did, but he had a broken system with his quarterback who got hurt, you know, in the first series 2 years ago and was a total jackass this year. All right, you're not going to get that in Trevor Lawrence. Aaron Rodgers hurt New York as much as, you know, far more than he could have helped New York. I can't imagine what that situation must have been like. I'm going to take Saleh over Rodgers in that battle. 52-62. Rick, does Saleh's New York City experience prepare him for a small market snake in the grass here? Yeah, I would think so. I got to believe if Robert Saleh is hired here, man, he has a massive exhale. I mean, this is going to seem like a walk in the park to him. Shad Khan's not going to hire Robert Saleh and say, you got to have a winning season this year or you're out. Or you got to have a winning season after 2 years or you're out. Again, I mean, it doesn't feel like Shad Khan really, really cares all that much about winning, right? I mean, everyone wants to win. Everyone cares to an extent. But I find it hard to believe that Shad Khan has had sleepless nights and ruined Mondays the way that you have as Jaguar fans. I think you take it a hell of a lot harder than he does. Yeah, coming from New York to come here is going to be a piece of cake. But, you know, we said the same thing about Doug Peterson. I mean, Doug Peterson came from Philadelphia, which is arguably the worst of any. And, you know, it felt like Peterson struggled here with the media. And I thought the media was very fair to Doug Peterson. He stubbed his toe. He made some mistakes, which I thought were really unusual. Again, because you don't have contrarians here firing out questions that put him in a in a dark situation. I think Jacksonville's media is very fair. Unlike Philadelphia and New York and Boston and D.C. I mean, you got folks there that can't wait to run you out of town. 0494, no one out of luck. We bring in Cohen, and then on Wednesday, the Bucs make him their head coach on Thursday. I think it's a real possibility. You just heard our last guest. I've been talking about this for 2 weeks. I was shocked when I went on their radio show in Tampa. I never believed that would be the case. And they're like, keep your hands off Cohen. We want him. He's our future. So, yeah, in Tampa right now, they're nervous about this. And I think you're going to get a little bit more on it. And I also would not be surprised at all if you see other teams now ask permission to interview Cohen. And the one that sticks out for me most prominently is the Las Vegas Raiders. I got to believe that if the Bucs, I mean, they got to be smarter than this. They have a real good general manager in Jason Light. The Glazer family has been rogue, right? I mean, you fire Tony Dungy after he takes them to the playoffs 4 years out of 6, and you fire him. You make a trade for John Gruden. It worked out for both organizations because Dungy went to Indy and won a Super Bowl. Gruden, of course, won a Super Bowl in Tampa, albeit with Dungy's players. And they made some other moves as well, right? The whole Lovie Smith deal for Dirk Cutter. Bruce Arians, remember that whole deal with Leftwich and Tom Brady and overstepping his bounds, even though he was a head coach, and all of a sudden Bruce Arians gets popped upstairs. So, but I also believe this. If you're Tampa, why would you wait? If you're convinced that Liam Cohen is the guy, why don't you fire Todd Bowles right now and start your own interview process? If you wait for, okay, Cohen had a sensational interview. Let's say he interviews here on Thursday. I've seen a couple of reports that is the case. And you fire him then because there's this understanding that Jacksonville is going to hire him. Again, I think it really... it's really going to reek in Tampa. Then again, if you make this move, it may be impossible to avoid the criticism anyway, even though I just gave you examples of what this organization has done before. Every time they fired coaches, it's not because the coaches that they fired were incompetent. It's because they thought that they were better off. They thought they were better with Gruden. They thought they were better with Kiffin, Dirk Cutter, but it was a surprise when Lovey was let go, and it was a surprise when Tony Dungy was let go. 9148 Blue. We have Trevor freaking Lawrence. We don't need a screen merchant for crying out loud. Maybe the good news would be this. They can work on it all day in practice because Jacksonville hasn't been able to defend a screen defensively in about 20 years. Okay? They have the worst coverage linebackers in the National Football League. It's a big part of the offense for Liam Cohen, but it's also a very well-rounded offense. If you've watched Tampa Bay play football, they take a lot of snaps under center, right? Exclusively around here, what do we see with Trevor Lawrence? The shotgun formation. Even in man-on-man football, tough guy football, when you need a first down and it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2 or 4th and 1, how many times have we seen Jacksonville turn the other cheek where in the ditch they can't get it done against their opponent? And yeah, I think that's a massive gut check for the entire organization. But yeah, screens are a huge part of it. To me, it's another link of running the football. I mean, no one did the screen game better than Tom Brady. How many 1,000-yard backs did Tom Brady have all those years in New England? But whether it was Kevin Falk or J.R. Redmond or Danny Woodhead or Dion Lewis, the list goes on and on and on. He always had a running back that was a pass-catching running back. And I think Travis Etienne is real good at that. I think that's a part of his arsenal that, was diminished this past year. Last year, he caught, I want to say, about 25, 30 more balls during the 2023 season. And that's another thing they're going to have to deal with. Do you move a guy like Trevor? Do you move a guy like Travis Etienne? You're only going to get one more year out of him. You're not going to re-sign him. You pick up his 5th-year option. They did so a while ago. You're going to pay him to play for you this year, and after year 5, he's done. He's gone. You go and you get another youthful running back. I think I wouldn't, if this team struggles, maybe you get rid of him before the trade deadline in season, but I'm keeping him around for one more year. I know his average has gone down from 5.1 to 3.8 to 3.7. Not entirely his fault. Offensive line. One more before the break. 2806 Blue. This franchise is currently constituted is incapable of making positive, long-lasting improvement. Khan may be a good businessman, but he's a terrible sports franchise owner. I can't argue. Can't. I just can't argue. He's had 3 winning seasons in 13 years. And 2 of those seasons were 9-8. One was a 10-6. And to listen to Shad Khan 2 weeks ago today, it didn't seem like he was really bothered about what had happened to his franchise. Certainly not as bothered as you, the fans. And, yeah, I hate being in a city like this where the fan base is so against the owner because, there's a part of me that's like, well, listen, he put us all at ease by getting the stadium deal, by knowing that for the next 30 years, you don't have to worry about anyone else ever saying that they're leaving, they're going to London. He did. He put you at incredible ease that you no longer have to worry about that stuff, which typically came from uninformed members of the national media. But now it's more directly on a game-to-game basis in exactly what's going on. We heard those reports about just how ripped he was in Buffalo, and I was in Buffalo. And then after the Detroit game, I'm still completely surprised that they did not make any decisions before 2 weeks ago. And that is his reputation. He is a very loyal guy. But for him to come out 2 weeks ago and say we had the most predictable offense and defense in the NFL was just bizarre to me. But I wish it would turn. I would. And I also know how you folks are. If he has the right hire and things work, and the primary responsibility is obviously, can a coach take Trevor Lawrence to the elite level? Not a good level. Not a very good level. I'm talking about taking this man to an elite level. You'll forgive Shad Khan. I know you don't want to admit that right now. But I've known you fans since 1995. And if things get better and you see the effort and the production is there, you'll turn. All fans do. Look at Notre Dame who's playing tonight. What do you think Notre Dame fans were saying after they lost to Northern Illinois at home? That's the way fans are. And again, fans are never wrong. You're never wrong. Your opinion is never wrong. Your opinion can change like the wind, and it's supposed to. But for everyone, and by the way, this isn't Ballou Company, man. This isn't lip service. I'm just being honest with you. As negative as you may feel towards him right now at this moment, he hires the right guy. You fix Trevor Lawrence. You start winning games. You'll be back on his side. 641-1010. Best way for you to join us. That is the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Let's take a look inside 1010XL.
Who wants the Grand Tour?
That would be terrific. That would be great.
We have the drill in the morning.
Very amusing.
Jaguars today from 10 to noon.
Good.
Helmets and heels until 2.
Yes.
XL Prime Time and the Franchi Show afternoons.
This is great.
Then Ballou and Hacker take you into the night.
All in one location.
1010XL.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say
happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
This Day in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 20th, 1967, Philadelphia 76ers Wilt Chamberlain makes all 15 of his field goal attempts in a win over the Lakers to set the NBA record for consecutive shots made.
D1 Training East Jacksonville invites you to their mega NFL football camp at the Bowl School February 1st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Ages 7 through 16. Get hands-on coaching from former NFL players at every single station. The coaches lineup put together by Connor and Sam at D1 is proudly sponsored by Tim Tebow. To sign up, call 904-901-6470.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Arrested? Got traffic tickets? DUI? License problems? Gun charges? Drug charges? If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, easycater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Tom Coughlin J Fund helps families battling childhood cancer, and there are ways you can help. Go to tcjfund.org.
City Rescue Mission provides life-changing support for the homeless. Find ways to get involved at crmjax.org.
The 5-Star Veterans Center of Jacksonville is the place homeless veterans can go to recover, recharge, retrain, and reconnect. Learn more at 5starveteranscenter.org.
Her Song is a nonprofit organization that breaks the cycle of human trafficking through survivor care, victim outreach, and education. Find out how you can help at hersong.org.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
They rest on Monday at the Blue Crab House, but they're back at it tomorrow. $2 margaritas, $9 margarita pitchers. If I was sitting next to any one of you right now, I would buy you one. I'll let you choose the $2 glass or the $9 pitcher because I feel like you need it. You need a little pick-me-up. And if handled the right way, alcohol can do that. Wednesday night, $1 steamed oysters. Yeah. That's every Wednesday at the Blue Crab House. They're open 4:30 to 9. And again, right off of San Jose, located there on Julington Creek Road. 3 interviews expected this week. Liam Cohen, offensive coordinator, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Patrick Graham, defensive coordinator, Las Vegas Raiders. Robert Saleh, who already met face-to-face because he was no longer employed by an NFL team. The other 9 interviews were virtual, but Saleh scheduled to come back. Right now, if I was a betting man, I think I would have this about 51-49, Cohen over Saleh. Saleh feels like the ultimate fallback. And you know, I have also heard the whole, can they get Liam Cohen and Robert Saleh as your defensive coordinator? Let's be honest, that'd be best case scenario. You're able to get that, then all of a sudden, as bad as you feel right here at this moment, you would feel that much better if it was announced. But if you're Robert Saleh, and you look at all the numbers of what the Jaguars did this year defensively, if San Francisco's offering you that gig, you go to San Fran. You go back, right? I mean, he's got a chance to do some really good things in San Francisco for a year or two, and then what happens to Robert Saleh? Becomes a head coach again. Robert Saleh comes here, and if they don't fix that defense, which right now is a Swiss cheese defense, holes at defensive tackle, lack of depth at edge, a linebacker core that, again, couldn't cover me. You need 2 safeties, and you need a corner. And I'm going to yell about offense. Offense, offense, offense. Fix your offense before you fix your defense. So, yeah, I mean, that's a job that I would have to take in San Francisco over the job here. 0480, thank you, Bill. I'm actually watching on YouTube. Yeah, I'm looking up here at a ton of stuff on YouTube. My goodness, look at all the people that are coming in here. Steve, Duval Till We Die, 420, Jacob, Palm Bay, Jags fan, let's see, below average angler, golf franchise, Mr. Know-It-All, below, I mean, we get Corey Sweets in here. Where's my guy Salt? Have we seen him on here yet, Dylan? He's my favorite. I want to party with Salt. Hubert Holmes is on here. Do people have homes? Andrew, I mean, this I can't get over how many are on YouTube. I need to get better and learn how to do that. But anyway, thank you. I'm actually watching on YouTube. I offended you. I apologize. I thought The Drill was the name of the radio station. But I'm also listening. Yeah, some guy came on and said, I absolutely love The Drill. And I was like, okay, this is Blue. I'll let him know. So I guess this is a little answer to that. But appreciate it. 0664, Rick, yada, yada, yada. We had 24 turnovers, 15, 9 fumbles, lost. Peace. 24 turnovers, right. And 9 takeaways. That's still minus 15. That's brutal. That's absolutely awful. I mean, they were so bad in categories. Let me dig this up for you. I wrote it down. I think it was Thursday or Friday. It's 32nd in passing defense, 31st in total defense, 27th in scoring defense. Let me read that again. 32nd in pass defense, 31st in total defense, 27th in scoring defense. Okay? 9 takeaways, Lowest in the NFL. You didn't have more than one takeaway per player, right? You didn't have a guy with 2 interceptions. You didn't have a guy with 2 fumble recoveries. You paid Tyson Campbell $1 billion. He had 0 interceptions in 12 games. He was hurt, and he's one of the guys that you highlight, right? He's one of the guys that you brag on. Again, 0 takeaways in 12 games. That can't happen. Pass rush, 28th in the NFL with 34 sacks. Okay, you have 2 stars, and you got nothing else besides Walker and Allen. What? Walker and Allen gave you 10.5 and 8, right? 18.5 out of the 34. That even seems high. They actually had 34 sacks. I have to double check that. Can you double check that for me? That seems like a high number. 34, 17 games, that'd be 2 a game. Are we sure about that, or did I write down the wrong information? 32nd in blitz. Everything but the kitchen sink. Remember the conversations? Oh, finally it's going to happen. You're not going to be able to figure out this defense on a ride. They were 32nd in blitz. 30th in stunting. If you don't know what stunting means, just think of an end and a tackle, and they're basically replacing one another at the line of scrimmage.
What did you want me to look up again?
Inverted. How many sacks for the Jaguars this year?
They had, it says 33.5.
Okay.
28th in the league.
33.5. Boy, that's better than I thought. That's 2 a game. Okay. Defensive tackles, 31st in the NFL in pass rush win percentage as far as defensive tackles. 31st. No pressure inside of Walker and Hines Allen. Zip. Eric Armstead played 39% of his passes at defensive tackle. These numbers are according to our buddy Daniel Griffiths. No push. So, yeah, you got massive holes on your defense. Now, I'd love to be able to sit here and say, you know what, though? Mason Smith's going to be better. He showed signs late.
Would you be fine with the Jags being like the Bengals, how they were this year, if you fix the offense, score a lot of points, but you're in a lot of shootouts?
The only problem I have with the Bengals is they allow so many sacks, and they really have. But, yeah, I'd rather lose that way than lose 12-7. Yeah.
That way you can play with anybody.
Yeah, I would.
Drive for drive.
I would.
You would be in any game, regardless of who the other quarterback is.
Yeah. What was the late game they lost? Was it 34-27 or?
To the Jets?
Pull up the Jaguars schedule. Yeah, there was one they lost where they nearly scored 30 but gave up more. Let's see. It was 32-25. I would rather lose a game like that they lost to New York. Look at the game. They lost to Minnesota 12-7. They beat Tennessee 10-6. They lost at Las Vegas 19-14. And they won at Tennessee 20-13. No. I'm going to say no. No and no. I would much rather lose the game 32-25.
Or like Green Bay, 30-27.
Absolutely. I would much rather lose a game where you're able to do something and move the football. You can't fix it all. And again, people that I respect in this business, if you read their early reports, it's all defense. It's defense, defense, defense. It's drafting a corner. It's drafting a defensive tackle. It's going out and getting a corner, an already accomplished corner like a DJ Reed or a Byron Murphy. What's that going to cost you? Or going out and getting an accomplished safety like a Trayvon Mulrig or, a Nick Scott or a Will Harris. What's that going to cost you? Are you really going to pay that much money for another corner or safety, or can you willingly get it done in the NFL draft? I don't know. But where I'm at, I'd rather spend for a right guard, and I'd rather spend for a number 2 wide receiver. I'm under the belief right now that the Jaguars will avoid a number 2 wide receiver. With Trent Baalke still here, I think he could keep Christian Kirk. And, you know Gabe Davis is going to get the vote of confidence because you can't afford to clip him. You can't afford to send him packing. There's way too much dead cap money. So I'm all about getting another wide receiver. You know, in my opinion, you keep Parker Washington as your slot. You have a star in Thomas Jr. You go get a second wide receiver. I'd hang on to Evan Ingram. The school of thought is that one of the two is gone. Christian Kirk or Evan Ingram. If you said to me both are gone or zero are gone, with Bulky here, I'd say zero are gone. And if you like that, fine. Again, all off season. Talked about the contract status and the numbers for Christian Kirk and for Cam Robinson. And I said it, and I'm sure many others said it as well. Look for both of those contracts to be restructured. They never were. You just paid those guys an obscene amount of money for a slot wide receiver and an underachieving left tackle. So just to throw that out there this year, history tells us maybe he does nothing at all. And I will say this, if you can keep Christian Kirk healthy, you're a better football team. If you can keep Evan Ingram healthy, you're a better football team. But those are big ifs. No doubt about it. All right, when we come back, let's grab more. Let's grab more on from you at 641-1010 on the text line. Also, a couple of minutes on the national title. The national title expected to get underway in about 12 minutes. Can Notre Dame win their first since 1988?
Is this heaven? No, it's the great before. This is where new souls get their personalities, quirks, and interests before they go to Earth.
1010XL.
This is the Mangler. Years of playing football coupled with lifestyle left my feet mangled with neuropathy. I was experiencing burning, tingling, and numbness. I spoke with 2 foot specialists, and they told me there was no cure. They were wrong. I found Dr. Nate Riddle in Ponte Vedra. After utilizing his neuropathy treatment for only 2 weeks, I noticed a difference in my feet. I was regaining my feeling and balance. If you want relief from nerve pain, call Dr. Nate for a free consultation at Riddle Wellness, 904-395-5598.
Florida's weather is unpredictable. Don't let the Epic Chill catch you off guard. For reliable heating services, call Epic Cool Heating and Air. Keep your home cozy all season long. Call 904-859-EPIC, 904-859-3742.
Hicken here with a message from Zero Res. Did you have people over for the holidays? Kids everywhere, dirt everywhere, all over the carpets, the rugs, the sofas, and chairs. Did the kitchen towel take a beating? Sounds like it's time to call my guys over at Zero Res. The Zero Res techs will get the house looking great again. Folks, if you need help cleaning up after the holiday, give Zero Res a call. Right now, 25% off carpet cleaning, 25% off upholstery cleaning. Zero Res. Spell it forwards. Zero Res. Spell it backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. If fishing is in your DNA, hop in the boat with Captain Kevin. It's the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
If you're tired of weekend projects turning into weekend disasters, you're not alone. Building a fence isn't as easy as it looks. And let's face it, your neighbor still hasn't fixed his lopsided masterpiece. But Superior Fence and Rail makes it easy. Highly trained professionals, top quality materials, and a fence you'll love for years to come. Skip the stress and call the pros today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit DreamFindersHomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to DreamFindersHomes.com for more details.
Choose C for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. They can transform your backyard with fire pits, pergolas, screen enclosures, and outdoor kitchens. And CSS handles the entire project from start to finish. You dream it, they build it. CSSOutdoor.com.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners. Financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Jacksonville. When AEW returns home, it is the biggest party in all of professional wrestling.
Daily's Place, the home of AEW.
And on Saturday, January 25th, Collision returns live. It's a new year and a whole new era in AEW. And there's no better time to experience the excitement than right now. AEW Collision Homecoming, live from Daily's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. Tickets on sale now, starting at $20 at AEWTIX.com.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Are the company's Zoom calls getting boring? Might be a good time to order some new logo caps or temporary tattoos. Check them out online at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Making a difference in our community for 2025? Paul Martinez here, President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida. The Boys and Girls Clubs offers a safe environment to youth every day with homework assistance, a hot meal, career readiness, and character and leadership programs. 57% of club alumni say the Boys and Girls Club saved their lives. Help us grow our outreach as we serve the kids in our community throughout our 59 clubs. Go to bgcnf.org to donate and learn more.
Hey, David again with Royal Pest Services. TAP Insulation stands for thermal, acoustic, and pest control. Keep your home cool, noise out, and pests dead. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free inspection.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
And the big story today, Ben Johnson, the new head coach of the Chicago Bears. That came in earlier today. The city still somewhat, rattled. He was the consensus. He was the people's champion. And he is not coming here. He's going to Chicago. There are multiple reports out now that 3 coaches will get a second interview. They'll all be in person. Robert Saleh, who originally did it in person since his contract ran out at the end of the year. The other 9 interviews, as we know, were virtual. Liam Cohen ran the offense in Tampa, top 5 rushing offense, top 5 passing offense. There is some speculation in Tampa that Todd Bowles could be fired, so they keep Liam Cohen. A little bit earlier, we had J.P. Peterson on, who does radio and has forever in the Tampa Bay area, and he still believes that that is going to take place. Patrick Graham is scheduled to interview as well this week, the defensive coordinator of the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, Notre Dame has taken the field. The hairs are standing up on the back of your neck and your head. They're a 9-point underdog. Let's bring in Dylan Denmark, who has a trivia question. And what are you giving away tonight? You're a real generous dude.
Pair of tickets to AEW's Collision on January 25th. That's this Saturday at Daly's Place.
Wow.
Okay. So to win these tickets, it's always been, I didn't know this, Rick. We always speak of Notre Dame's last title was 1988. 1993, Notre Dame only had 1 loss, but they beat one of the top teams in the country in that season. And who was that team against?
Okay. I think our listeners all know that they beat Florida State, but who did they lose to? Why don't we do that? We'll take the first caller. Who did Notre Dame lose to? And it was their only defeat in the 1993 season. You know the answer to that, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Want to make sure. I hate to put you on the spot like that. And first answer, 641-1010. Again, you get a couple of tickets to AEW coming up on Sunday night. All right, final thoughts here. Let me tell you this. If Notre Dame's going to pull off the upset, it's pretty easy. Will Howard has thrown 35 picks in his career. He's had 5 pick sixes in his career, albeit none of it has been against man coverage, which obviously Notre Dame has run very successfully. Notre Dame has been an injured football team, but Bo Collins is back tonight. Jeremiah Love has been less than 100%. He's going to play in this football game as well. So that is better news for Notre Dame. A couple of things to consider with this game. You know, you look at the last five. Ohio State, they pounded Indiana 38-15. And, of course, Indiana made it into the college football playoff. They lost to Michigan in that thriller 13-10. Then once the playoffs began, they beat Tennessee 42-17. They beat Oregon 41-21. And they beat Texas 28-14. So that is how Ohio State got to the national title. If you look at the last five for the Fighting Irish, they blew away Army 49-14. They showed some kinks. Or, you know, they really did. They showed that they were a normal football team in their victory over USC, but they allowed 35 points in that game. And, again, that was in Los Angeles. Then they turned around the playoffs, and, you know, they beat Indiana 27-17. They beat Georgia 23-10. And they beat Penn State 27-24. So there you go. When you look at this team, and Notre Dame, it's pretty incredible. 210 yards a game they average on the ground. And we've always known that Ohio State is a very good rushing team. They average 163 yards. So both these teams certainly do have the ability to grind it out with the ground game, take control of the time of possession. And if you don't turn the ball over, you think that you really do have an opportunity. The real difference here is the ability that Ohio State has to certainly get it done in the air with Jeremiah Smith. Only caught one ball last week. Ryan Day against Marcus Freeman. You know, Ryan Day all of a sudden has won 17 of his last 18. All we heard is that the guy can't win the big game. He wins tonight. He's a national champion. A lot of people thought Marcus Freeman would interview for the Chicago Bears job. And obviously that's not going to happen now after the announcement did come in that Ben Johnson is the new coach of the Bears. A great front four for Ohio State. They already have, let me see here, I wrote it down. They already have 14 sacks in their first three playoff games, led by Jack Sawyer. A very dominant defensive team as well. I think that the Ohio State Buckeyes will win this game tonight. Anything outside of that would certainly be a surprise as far as I am concerned. Again, there's been a lot of late movement on the money. Publicly speaking, it's up to 9 points and 45.5, albeit the sharp money has been heavily bet on Notre Dame. So do you believe the wise guys? If so, you're taking the Irish and the points, or are you going with the general public who has said that's not going to be the case? It is going to be Ohio State, even though you're laying the 9. Do we have a winner?
Well, you do. Mr. Bryan got it without ease.
All right, and the answer?
It was Boston College. Notre Dame beat Florida State, and then they, I guess they fell apart the following week.
Head coach?
41-39.
Head coach of BC.
Was it Tom Coughlin?
It was.
I'm randomly guessing there.
Pete Mitchell was on that team. My good friend Tommy McManus was not. He had been 1 year out of BC. So there you go. 5760 Blue just wondering why John Gruden's not in the mix because of a couple of emails. It's fair. I don't think this city's the spot for him. I just think there'd be too much of too much resistance. I think there's an opportunity for him somewhere, perhaps at some point. But I guess right now he's just hanging out as a member of the media, and he is doing things with Barstool. Let's grab one more before we bring in Hacker Nation. Let's see here. How does a coach turn around 5 turns on the quarterback and doesn't see no scenario in the world that he can look at? Don't know. Hey, it happened here. Trevor Lawrence had 5 turnovers. It's rare. It doesn't happen often, but every once in a while, you can still win a football game under those set of circumstances. But, history tells us that it is the biggest problem that you can have. Again, as we get ready for a championship Sunday, take into consideration the 4 teams that did advance. What do they have in common? Not one of the 4 teams committed a turnover during the divisional round of the playoffs. So the Commanders go to the Eagles. That'll be game 1 at 3 o'clock on Fox on Sunday. Philadelphia favored by 5.5. Your total is 47.5 points. Again, that is Saturday at 3 o'clock. And then the nightcap, they'll do it again. Buffalo at Kansas City. Kansas City favored by 2. Your total is 47.5. So we have this game just getting set to get underway right now between Notre Dame and Ohio State. And that completes college football. Yeah, we'll get a East-West Shrine game and a Senior Bowl. But that's it for college football. We have the 2 games on Sunday. And then 2 weeks after that, we will get the Super Bowl. But that is all you are going to get for the remainder of the year. Football fans, whether that is a good thing, which I would believe that many would not agree to. I think most of you out there are looking at that and saying, it's awful.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
All right, Hacker is with us. First down, Notre Dame. They're moving the clock early. They run it for more than 210 yards a game. Any opportunity tonight for the Fighting Irish?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think they haven't lost a game since the Northern Illinois game, but I was thinking about this on the drive in. But college football was long this year. You go back to Dublin, Ireland, Florida State, Georgia Tech. That kicked it off on August the 24th, and now here we are with the national championship game. Not that I'm complaining, but that Florida State, Georgia Tech game seems like a year ago.
Yeah.
And that's what started college football this year.
That was like the only time Florida State fans cheered all year. They scored on their opening drive.
Yeah.
Then it went south from there on in. Ben Johnson to Detroit. Your thoughts?
To
Chicago.
To Chicago, yeah. Jaguar fans are, they're pissed.
Yeah.
Right? That's basically the thought I have since the news came in around 4 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to open up the phone lines tonight. We just ask people to keep it civil here on Hacker After Dark. We'll even take a little PG, but no more than that. No PG-13 or R-rated material. And, look, I said last week the Jaguars are going to Jaguar until they don't. And today seems like a prime Jaguar move, seems like a missed opportunity. Now, look, Ben Johnson may be awful. And in 3 years, he may be fired. And whether it's Liam Cohen or Joe Brady or whomever, it could be the greatest hire on planet Earth here in Duval County. But for the here and now, on January 20th in 2025, Jaguar fans are ticked, and I don't blame them. And I'm going to give them a sounding board to voice their opinion tonight.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense. That is the way that people feel at this particular moment. Notre Dame moving the ball to pick up another first down, so they have it at midfield, actually now on Ohio State's side of the field. And again, taking some early clock, so the Irish with an opportunity maybe to get on the board first. All right, what else you got coming up?
Yeah, a little Monday night coaching with Campo. Dave Campo joins us. Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 stops by, and Josh Edwards of CBSSports.com. So we're pretty loaded with you up until 10 o'clock tonight.
All right, Hacker, have a lot of fun.
Thanks, Rick.
Hacker's up right now. That'll do it for us until tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. We'll be with you then. I do want to thank our good buddy J.P. Peterson from joining us out of Tampa. And again, he still believes that if Liam Cohen is offered the job here in town, that Tampa will fire Todd Bowles to keep Liam Cohen. Keep our eyes and ears on that. I also wouldn't be surprised if another team gets involved in the Cohen sweepstakes, particularly Las Vegas. If all of a sudden you find out that they are interested in interviewing Tampa's offensive coordinator. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. Thank you to you as well. My name is Rick Ballou. I don't check the text line now that the show is over. You can always get me on Twitter, Ballou1010XL. Talk to you folks tomorrow, 6 o'clock.